Okay, so the 1 year program, the 1 year of A Course in Miracles, a transformative practice that I've done several times in the past, and it's really what I am these days is the accumulation of applying these principles. They're universal principles. There's one ultimate absolute truth with many, many ways up this mountain. This is a way, this is A Course in Miracles. So what I'd love to do right now, first of all, there's no chance. I don't believe in accident or coincidence that we're connecting right now. And I'm doing this video for you to share. Basically, I'm sharing. It's coming out of me because I know the difference it's made for my life. And it's just a sharing. It's just when something works and you're happy, it's just you want to share. So yeah, happy to be connecting this way. I think eventually we'll get into live Zoom calls, something I've been pushing away these last few years. But I feel like this is, if there's ever been an appropriate purpose for me to start doing that, to be more accessible and helpful and share these ideas and strengthen these ideas, then I'm in. So what we're doing is sharing. When we share any ideas, when we talk, have a conversation, we enforce these ideas. And so it strengthens and it builds and it reinforces, and it's always a much better experience doing it in a group. So what I'd love to do right now is go and read the introduction. I'm going to read the introduction to the whole course, to the workbook. There is a textbook. We're not doing the textbook at all. That's up to you on your own. The workbook is also totally up to you. So that's the first point. This is for you. This is your own pledge, your own commitment to yourself. I'm just here I'm doing it with myself, to myself. And so I'm available for support and help. And I've got, a bit of track record experience. So I'm glad to be helpful. Yeah, and so a commitment to yourself, and you got to feel that fire, feel that commitment and passion on your own to do this. So the introduction, it explains a theoretical foundation such as the text that we haven't read yet. So on your own, if you want to do that, it really helps to set the stage. It says the foundation such as the text provides is necessary as a framework to make these exercises in this workbook meaningful. Yet it is in doing the exercises that will make the goal of this whole course possible. So we don't just leave it to abstract theory, reading yet another book, putting it on a shelf, but trying to integrate it, apply it, make it come alive, make a difference in your life experience. It says, an untrained mind can accomplish nothing. An untrained mind can accomplish nothing. This is where we start finding out very quickly, all the masses who have ever started a program like this, where they start to go off track with an undisciplined mind. Oh, look, the next shiny lure over there. Oh, I forgot about my lessons. And so the program is really gentle. It's really intelligent. It starts very small, very simple. And then it gradually adds in another element, a little bit more, over time. It just gets you used to this process. It is the purpose of this workbook to train your mind to think along the lines the text sets forth. So as we're going along, one of my roles, I feel, I can start filling in some of the meaning that the text provides. If you've been coming to some of the gatherings, that's what we have already been doing, getting an overall understanding of this whole philosophy. It says, the exercises are very simple. They do not require a great deal of time, and it does not matter where you do them. They need no preparation. The training period is 1 year. The exercises are numbered from 1 to 365. Do not undertake to do more than one set of exercises a day. That's the only real instruction. Do not do more than one a day, so 1 a day. Don't do more. So here's another point. If you're doing this on your own, it's clearly structured to do 1 a day, 1 year, and you're done. Another possibility some people do is when they don't want to be structured to this 1 year program, they do one lesson for a day, and if it really sticks to them, they do a second day with it, or sometimes a third day, and eventually they move on to the next lesson. In this program, that won't work. If you want to do that totally independent on your own, you're free to do that. You can do anything you want. Here's a risk. Here's a risk with doing it that way. When people start putting off doing the next lesson and they stick with one lesson, they lose momentum. There's a momentum, a daily ritual that is lost. And inevitably, they get off the track and they forget about the track. And it's been days and weeks go by and they realize, oh, I forgot about my course. And so you get really off track unless you stick with the training. It's a discipline training for the mind. So, one a day. Even if you really want to stick to one for more than a day. For this program, so here's another point. With this program, ideas, they get recycled. If you miss one lesson or you didn't get it, there will be another lesson coming up which reframes and just restates the same theme, different wording, different angle. So it's not too late. Ideas will resurface and they will come again. They will loop and surface in a quantum way. So you don't have to feel like you missed out. It says, the workbook is divided into two main sections. The first dealing with the undoing of the way you currently see now, and the second with the acquisition of true perception. With the exception of the review periods, each day's exercises are planned around one central idea, which is stated first. The title of that lesson is the central idea. Very short one-liners. This is followed by a description of the specific procedures by which the idea for the day is to be applied. This is what sets now this program apart just from reading a book. It's not just reading the title and the description, but now applying the lessons by what the instructions instruct for the day throughout the day. That's the integration. The purpose of the workbook is to train your mind in a systematic way to a different perception of everyone and everything in the world. This is so key. I have it highlighted here. I'm going to read that again. The purpose of the workbook is to train your mind in a systematic way to a different perception of everyone and everything in the world. We're learning how to see differently. We're only trained to see the same old way, our way, that the world has trained us into, our parents, institutions. We've been programmed one specific way. We need to break that programming to acquire a much more wider, happier, freer perspective. The exercises are planned to help you generalize the lessons so that you will understand that each of them is equally applicable to everyone and everything you see. Transfer of training in true perception does not proceed as does transfer of training of the world. If true perception has been achieved in connection with any person, situation, or event, total transfer to everyone and everything is certain. On the other hand, one exception held apart from true perception makes its accomplishments anywhere impossible. The only general rules to be observed throughout, then, are, first, that the exercises be practiced with great specificity, as will be indicated. This will help you to generalize the ideas involved to every situation in which you find yourself and to everyone and everything in it. Second, be sure that you do not decide for yourself that there are some people, situations, or things to which the ideas are inapplicable. So no exceptions in any of these lessons. This will interfere with transfer of training. So when it's talking about the transfer of training, the lessons apply equally to all, everything, everyone, everywhere, at all times. No exceptions. because the ego is going to start to come right in through these lessons and start to try to pull itself out, make exceptions, and then fail in the retraining process. This will interfere with the transfer of training. So the very nature of truth perception, it has no limits. It is the opposite of the way you see now. No limits. Meanwhile, our current perception is full of nothing but limitation. Everything is a limitation. The overall aim of the exercises is to increase your ability to extend the ideas you will be practicing to including everything. This will require no effort on your part. The exercises themselves meet the conditions necessary for this kind of transfer. So there's a lot happening unconsciously, behind the scenes, without us having to know everything. Just do the lessons as instructed, and there's so much happening that's going on in the deeper mind. Some of the ideas the workbook presents you will find hard to believe. Heads up. And others may seem to be quite startling. This does not matter. You are merely asked to apply the ideas as you are directed to do. You're not asked to judge them at all. You are asked only to use them. It is their use that will give them meaning to you and will show you that they are true. You start having experiences after some application. You start having different experiences. Proof and evidence starts coming back that something is shifting, something happened. Remember only this. You need not believe the ideas. You need not accept them. You need not even welcome them. Some of them you may actively resist. None of this will matter or decrease their efficacy. But do not allow yourself to make exceptions in applying the ideas the workbook contains. And whatever your reactions to the ideas may be, use them. Nothing more than that is required. So that's the introduction. So whatever your mind is ready and capable of receiving from that lesson, you will absorb, and you will not absorb all the other parts. So basically, if you don't feel like you've fully grasped it or you got it, it's normal. It's expected. You're not expected to get the full gist of every lesson. If you do, and here's a really important point, if you fully, truly grasp the magnitude of what each idea is trying to convey, you would see the infinite. You would get the full glimpse. You would get the whole totality of the whole awakening. And then you're done. You graduate. You won't need any more lessons. Basically, any single one of these lessons that you do get, if you fully got any one, you're awake. You get it. You have total clarity. So if you didn't feel like you got the whole lesson, it's okay. Let it go. Move on to the next lesson each day, one at a time. If you miss a day, it's going to happen. Heads up, it's going to happen. After a week, after a month, after months and months, chances are, you're probably going to slip. You're going to miss a day. You're going to forget your applications and your meditations. Halfway through the day, the whole day will have slipped away and you realize, oh my God, I forgot my lesson totally. So this is now part of the training, because now your ego will want to use that as justification to attack you, to be hard on yourself, to get frustrated, to get, hard on yourself. And that's the catch. So be gentle with yourself. Be easy with yourself. It happens. Expected. See? It happened as expected. So the suggestion I have is let it go. Do whatever you can at any point, just wherever you are, let it go. Simply back on track. Just do your best for the rest of that day, for the scheduled lesson for that particular day. So if you missed days in a row, I would say leave it. If you have a whole lot of excess time, you can go through, read through it. But the priority is to stick and restart on the day's lesson that day. There's hundreds of lessons, trust me. Ideas will keep resurfacing and coming up. I'm here, I'm available, I'm happy, and we'll do some of these sessions. We'll have a private group, we'll do messaging on Facebook. As I see this developing in front of me, I'm just following my passion. I'm literally just following my passion. I don't know what the big plan is. Spirit is constantly providing the solution, one baby step at a time. And this is what the training and the workbook will get you to a point as well. You don't need to know the big picture. You don't need to figure it all out. It's just on the fly, impromptu, spontaneous directions in life. So, to make a vow to yourself starting this program, because again, it's going to be so easy and tempting to want to slip away and, I don't feel like it, or I forgot, or it's not really that important. So a pledge, right? Put your hand on your heart, and you can, right now with this video, you can pause it, and before you start day one, it's a commitment for your life, for your awakening, for your transformation. You know the results you've gotten in your life so far. If you're struggling, so many people are just still struggling. How has your way worked for you so far? So a pledge that you have nothing left to lose. What do you have to lose? Just go all in. Dive in head first. Give it your all. Right? Do the pledge, do the commitment, get on fire for it. And here's another point I'll say. A year-long program, 365 lessons. Oh my God, gosh. Okay, that sounds maybe daunting. So I'm going to say, I've never heard anybody else suggest this, but for 90 days, commit to yourself for 3 months, just 90 days. Is it possible to commit for 12 weeks? And there's a reason why I picked 90. I was just studying Dr. David Hawkins, The Scale of Consciousness, and he tested Course in Miracles students from before they started the workbook to 90 days. About the 90-day mark, he found in his research that there was a profound up-leveling of consciousness after around that 3-month mark, where they kinesiologically tested weak before or during the period, but after that 3-month mark, they all tested strong in terms of their beliefs about everything in the world, in terms of how the world and negative, harmful stimuli affects them. Normally, we believe that certain things are bad for you. Certain foods, certain toxins, certain chemicals. It's pretty normal. It's just obvious, right? Common sense in this world. But wait, that's where the Course starts to absolutely tap the powerful, unlimited power of the mind. Mind over matter in every regard. Because we're tapping into higher laws now. Higher laws above time and space here. So this is where it gets really exciting, like that nothing can really influence you, whether it's food and toxins or other people's behavior or what the world is doing. Nothing, whether weather is going to get you down. We're rising, we're expanding our awareness to be mighty in our perception, to this new way of perceiving, as the workbook just instructed us it will train us to do. So, can you do 3 months? And I would say, no matter what, no matter what, pledge to yourself that every morning, first thing, not later, you have to do it in the morning, because then the instructions tell you what to do for the rest of the day. And so, value to yourself, no matter what. No more excuses. I've lived a whole lifetime with excuses. No more excuses for this period. And so here's what happens after you start any routine, you already establish any solid routine, then it becomes so much easier to continue the routine. So after the 90 days, It's kind of, I'm setting you up on a trick. It's kind of deceptive. It's not just 90 days. By 90 days, once you're in a solid routine, you got this. You'll be good to continue going after that. It's just the first phase, the first days, maybe week, couple of weeks, that people start and they start dropping out and losing interest and quitting. The ego resistance will come in. So here I'm very, very alert to this ego resistance that will come up. It's going to be theme. I'll keep bringing up. Yeah. So instead of resistance, passion, excitement. Imagine how much further progress you can make in your life in finally not being so dependent or attached. Like, it is possible to continue on in a very different way than you've ever continued on. It is possible. So getting that excitement, that's what drives me here. Yeah, this is free, like I said. Now I'm also feeling I've been putting this off for years. And occasionally people ask me, how can I donate? How can I pay? How can I, return their gratitude financially? So I'm in the process of setting up a donation account or a transfer method internationally, specifically. E-money transfers in Canada, that's an easy no-brainer. I'm always available to those. Yeah, so that is the journey. I'm excited. It's January. It's December 31st right now, so we get to start. Okay, so that's pretty well the finish of the introduction. I'm going to do now a lesson number 1. Let's just dive in. If you want to follow me here for part 1, lesson 1, I'm not even going to read it. I'm just going to make a quick comment on, just to get the ball rolling. Lesson 1, if you're doing this with me, here it is. Nothing I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place, means anything. Nothing means anything. Again, so many people have had so much resistance starting with these very first lessons because it might seem so waste of time, irrelevant, silly. Now here's a stunning fact. If you were able to get this single lesson, just lesson number 1 that says nothing I see means anything, if you truly peeled away every meaning that we've pasted on everything, our own interpretation on everything, you would have a full-blown light episode awakening. And then you're done. You've graduated with just lesson 1. Now, we understand that it's hard to truly, truly grasp, which is why they provide another 364 lessons to follow up with this idea. But it's the first layers, first step in peeling away. We have to peel away all of the usual purposes and meanings that we've given everything. But just to light the fire, stoke the fire. Let's get going. Let's do this. Game. Let's game on. Okay, thanks for joining me. I look forward to staying connected and communicating and really building and strengthening this network of a new thought system, a new way of thinking and believing everything, revamping everything. 2023. Looking at the world situation, there's never been a time, as we seem to be seeing these two realities, these two worlds, 3D and 5D, getting further and further apart. It's like, how do you hang on to the new reality, the light world? This is a map, step-by-step instruction roadmap. Just hang on to every lesson each single day. Okay, that's enough. Thank you. Peace. I'll see you soon. Be in touch. Bye.